Time now for the Wall Street Beat, because we are watching Visa. The Justice Department is set to file a lawsuit against Visa, alleging that it allegedly illegally monopolized the U.S. debit card market, according to people familiar with the market. And a report commissioned by SoFi in 2023 found that 73% of Americans have a debit card from Visa. Matt, take that stat. Let's discuss this with Bloomberg's Sridhar Natarajan. Of course, you are seeing Visa shares move on the heels of this exclusive news from Bloomberg, and you do see really the FTC crack down on the credit card industry quite difficult in a quite difficult manner here. What exactly?
These are debit cards.
These are debit
not
cards.
Credit cards. And mine is by MasterCard. Just
and this is the DOJ antitrust division. But at the same, what is important here is every year merchants pay over $170 billion in all sorts of fees tied to credit cards, debit cards, electronic payments. So the FTC, the DOJ, the Biden administration in general has had a very muscular antitrust posture. We've talked about that recently. And this is another case where they believe the middlemen here, the middlemen in this case, Visa and the MasterCards of the world, the payment networks, are carrying out behavior that abuses their dominance in the market, or at least that's what they plan to accuse Visa of in this case. And the end goal will be that the cost should ultimately come down for the merchants and therefore the consumer and the customer.
The consumer isn't directly hurt by this alleged monopoly, right? Because you don't pay fees when you use your debit card. It's the retailer that ends up paying the swipe fee.
Depends on who you ask. We had a grocery retailer here furious about those swipe fees.
Yeah, but that's because the retailer is directly hurt.
And then passes them on.
Yeah.
Right, but first let me address your alleged monopoly question, because that's something that you've been asking all morning. So
yeah, because I've been listen, I've walked around the newsroom, I asked everybody,
it's a fair
is
question.
your debit card MasterCard or Visa?
Question.
I find, at least in our newsroom, half of people's debit cards are MasterCard and half are Visa.
Well, that is not broader America, it seems, because undoubtedly Visa and MasterCard are the two dominant payment networks when it comes across credit cards and debit cards all over the world. But when you talk about the US debit card market, Visa has a more than 70 or roughly 70% share. The rest is mostly MasterCard, but Visa is the dominant player there. And this case that the DOJ is bringing is about the US debit card market. So you can argue that they have a dominant position. I won't use the word monopoly. That is the charged word. We'll leave that to the Justice Department. But they clearly have a dominant position, and perhaps in the accusations they lay out how they've been abusing this dominance, whether it is thwarting competitors or striking exclusive agreements that make it harder for merchants to route their transactions elsewhere.